Welcome to Quest for Gear. I love you. Today is just another commentary about me not being able to straighten my brain out regarding how I record, how I mix, how I work, my workflow. I've done a few of these before. This versus that, Tascam versus the Zoom versus stuff I don't even own, such as the Tascam Model 2400. This is the Tascam Model 24. So I'll just asterisk this whole thing right now and say I don't know what some of you guys are looking for, but this is not a tutorial. I'm not going to really I'm going to turn it on, but I'm not going to do any music right now. This is just rambling, bumbling commentary about the Tascam workflow versus the Apollo and other interfaces. And yes, I've done a few of these videos before, but they get like 5,000 views. So why wouldn't I do another one? You guys seem to come and watch them. And as well, what's changed is I now have this for sale and this for sale. I know some guys are like, yeah, you already sold 8 of these. Yeah, I know. I still can't get my head around it. So here's what we're doing now. In the box, out of the box. Listen, I've never been diagnosed with ADHD, right? But I've not seen a doctor since 1988. So who's to say? I know too many options are not good for me, right? You come over to start picking a guitar and you're like, oh boy, which guitar, right? I'm better off with 2 or 3 choices, not 20 guitars. Or same goes with pedals. What guitar pedal are we going to use today? So I can't speak for anyone that's not me, but a lot of choice is not good for me. So some of the advantages of the Tascam, or I should also list what else I own. I have the Tascam Model 24 here in my amateur studio. I have the Apollo Twin X. I used to have the 4X. I downgraded it so I could stick $1,000 back in my pocket, and I went to the Twin X. And it's going through a Mac Mini at this moment. I also have a Zoom Livetrak L-20, but it's lent to a friend probably for years. I also have a Focusrite Scarlett 18i20. That's another 8-channel. And it's lent to another band probably for years. Why do I lend my interfaces out to people for years? Well, because we're all part of these groups that play music with each other, and if that's what I have to do to get my friends to write and record and play music, then that's what I'll do, is I'll buy an $800 interface, or in the case of the Zoom Livetrak L-20, it was, I don't know, like 1,200 Canadian, and bring it to my friend and put it on his kitchen table, and now the guy's writing music. You only live once. If that's what I got to do, that's what I got to do to get the ball rolling on some of these projects. And I play on these projects. And then these guys make vinyl records, so that I get to be on vinyl records, so that your kids can find a record I played on at Value Village for $3 in the dirty bin 20 years from now. So, because nothing we've ever done, me and my friend, well, I shouldn't say that. I can't speak for everybody. Nothing I've ever done has amounted to anything. I've had some stuff played on CBC radio, but who cares? It's not that hard to get on CBC radio. Rambling. Okay, so I have these other interfaces out in the world, but here in my studio, I got the Apollo, I got the Tascam Model 24. So the nice thing about the Tascam Model 24 is you just flick it on, it's ready to go. You go to SD card. You don't need the Mac, which disappoints me daily. The Mac, it's not the easy thing people think it is. The Mac is screwing up all the time. And I'm a computer guy. I'm a certified CompTIA, globally recognized IT guy, and I have been since the mid-90s. So it's not that I don't know what I'm doing. It's just that the Mac is constantly changing, and the Apollo drivers are constantly changing, and the plugins are constantly changing. So it's really not fair for me to come home from work on a Friday night and my crap's all mixed up. My Antares Auto-Tune doesn't work anymore, and my UAD plugs are freezing. There's nothing wrong with this Mac Mini, I guarantee you that. It's a fast as hell M-chip, fast as hell solid state hard drive soldered on. Nothing wrong with a Mac. I also have I got other computers and stuff too. I mean, this laptop's really good too. Like I got this other room over here. I've got God knows how many towers in that other. Like I got computers all over the place. It's not a matter of not having a good computer, or I could just go to Best Buy and buy a $1,500 computer right now. It's not that. It's that universal audio drivers and the plugins and the Mac. They're just not. It's not a stable environment these days, which has always been the myth, right? Oh, the Mac's the best at audio video. It's for artsy smart people. Well, I do agree. Whenever I meet a smart person, be it on a meeting or I see them online, smart people tend to use Mac computers. I'll give you that. But it's not the stability that people claim it is. I used to take care of a church. The church had 15 Mac computers, 15 iPhones, 15 tablets, and I was there weekly. Why? Because it's not the stability that the myth, the Apple Macintosh myth, will have you believe. It's not. I even had a Mac server. You know how rare that is? We bought a Mac, what was it called? A Lion server or some piece of junk. It was basically a Korean grocery store in that it was just painted on wall. Like it didn't do anything. So we paid, I think it was like $500. It didn't do anything. But anyway, all right, back to the point of these interfaces. So at least this guy's the same every day. He's the friend you know. You come flick him on. He's ready to go. He's ready to record. So you're like, well, what's the problem? Well, there isn't really a problem. I could stick some Neve preamps into there. I got my LA 2A compressor. If I want some additional effects, I've got the Lexmark. Got one of these Behringer dealies that you guys have seen for $99, whatever the hell. Virtualizer. So I got other effects. I got a 500 series rack that's almost empty right now. So I could put, with that radial device there, I could reamp and I could put guitar pedals in as effects. I got a headphone amp so that, you know, because this stupid thing only comes with one headphones, which is kind of silly. But so I got external effects. I got guitar pedals coming out the wazoo. So what's a guy really need beyond that? Well, nothing. You should be satisfied. I should be satisfied. That should be satisfaction, right? Problem is, I've already spent into this ecosystem since the early 2000s. I think I got into this in 2004 with the PCI card. Remember the PCI card? UAD1? And I've spent thousands in this universal audio ecosystem. Well, things are changing here where you don't need this dongle no more. UA plugins are going native because the computers can handle it. Okay. So I get working on here. I get doing my indie rock songs. And you know, that's a couple of tracks of drums, you know, or maybe you go maybe you go all out and you mic all the drums and you're 10 tracks of drums and then you mix them down to 4 or 2 stereo track. And this goes the same for my Zoom Livetrak L-20. Same story. You flick it on, you do your rhythm guitar, you do your drums, your buddy does his bass, your other buddy does his guitars, your buddy does his vocal, this girl over here does a violin, and this girl over here plays piano, and this dude over here raps into it, or whatever you're doing, you throw your tracks in. And then it comes time to mix. Well, there are lots of ways out of this machine, and there's lots of ways out of the Zoom Livetrak L-20 as well, Live L-Track 20 as well. And you can go through the compressor and pump it back in, and you can go through the reverbs and the flangers and the vocoder and the rotary and the reverb and the delay and the chorus and the flanger and the phaser. You can go all that and then come back in. So yeah, you can have like the Beatles Pink Floyd experience right here. This is it. This is my EMI Red Desk. This is my my TG12345 or whatever the hell that thing was called. You can have that experience. You can also pick this bad boy up and you can go to your friend's house and sit at his kitchen table and do the same thing. So it's all right. It works. Everyone should be satisfied with that. I should be satisfied with that. When I get drawn over here going, you spend all this money on plugins. And you can hybrid the two things. But that's where my brain starts to misfire. I could put all these tracks in Reaper instead of on the SD card. And then I could use my UA plugins and my Waves plugins and my Softtube plugins and my and Terras and whatever the hell else I got. Just like you guys, I got 4,000 plugins from the 90s, just like you guys probably have. We've all got the 4,000 frickin' Ohm Boys and Softtube, all them plugins we've been collecting since 1992, right? And then I'm in this like hybrid world of, am I here? Do I turn the computer on? Where do I get my drums? Do I do the electronic drums? Am I doing analog? Like, I don't know about you guys, but too many options is not good for me. Again, I don't know if I have attention deficit disorder, but many people say that I do. And I know I can't pay attention for more than 3 seconds. Obviously, I'm rambling. So here's what I'm doing right now. I have listed this for sale again. I know. I hear you guys laughing. Because I've sold and bought these for 8 times. I know. And I've listed this for sale with all my plugins. Okay. So this thing used right now is only worth about $700 Canadian. Because you can get them all day long on Reverb and Kijiji. I listed it for 3,000 Canadian. Why? Because it's in mint shape and it comes with all my plugins. So yeah, the hardware is only worth $700, but to clock up to all the plugins that I bundled with it, that are coming with it. So what'll happen on Reverb, if they don't kick me out, Reverb's starting to kick me out because I won't put my ID up there. Screw them, I'll never put my ID up there. I'll list it for 300. I'll wait a couple days. I'll put it down to about 2,500, and then there'll be that percentage drop on Reverb. It'll look real good. It'll be like, this guy just dropped his price 20%, but it's fake, right? It's fake. You know this game, right? So I play this game every time on Reverb. You list it high. You list it for, let's say something's $100. You list it for $100. You leave it for 2 days. Then you list it for $75, which is what you wanted in the first place. And Reverb goes 25% off. That's the game. That's the Reverb sales game. And it is what it is. So yeah, if I got 2,400 Canadian for that with all my plugins, fine. And these just went up because the tariff freaking war between, everybody, China and Canada and US and Canada and Europe and US and, everybody. Canada's all mad at the States, but they're not making a peep about China. China tariff the hell out of us. No one's, elbows up, guys. Elbows up. Well, how come you aren't putting your elbows up against China? Where's our elbow? We don't put our elbows up. We only put our elbows up against USA. It's weird. Anyway, tariff wars. These have already gone up. So that's in my favor because I'm selling one used. I think these have snuck up. I know the Fender products have snuck up, to my dismay, because I've got my eye on some Fender stuff. I'm such a Fender. I'm the biggest Fender fan, but I love Fender. And Squier. I love Squier too. So the race is on. I sell this, or I sell this. I don't care which. Whichever sells is my choice made for me. Again, keeping in mind I have other interfaces out in the world that'll probably be tied up for years at friends' houses. The Scarlett 18 I-20, which is a fantastic 8 preamp, 18 channel thing. And the Zoom Livetrak L-20, which is basically this again, and I like it very much, but my friend has it, and those things will be tied up for years. So what will I do? If this one sells, I'm going to use this one. If this one sells, I'm going to use this one. And I'm just going to be happy either way. Well, I say that. You guys know. If you follow my channel, you guys know I'm a nutcase. Certifiable. You guys know. Anyway, this is what we're doing. I've sold 8 of these. I've never sold this. I've downgraded this one from the 4 to the 2. But maybe it's time to get out of here. You know what drives me about this? So it's just this thing called UAD console. If you guys are familiar with this, you know what UAD console is. It doesn't open all the time on my Mac. Sure, I can go into the activity monitor, which is Mac's version of the task manager, and I can go in and kill the process. But the Universal Audio ecosystem runs about 8 processes on my Mac. Like, that's nuts. So you ask yourself, what did you want to do? I wanted to play myself playing a little guitar. Oh, what did you do? I got 8 process streams on my Mac. It's like, what? How far away have we come from doing the thing that you wanted to do, which was to sit down in your studio on a Friday night and jam with some friends, and now you're digging out 8 processes on your Mac with the Apollo, right? At least this thing is like the old school tape dealie. You fire it up and you start recording, right? Again, I get I get analysis paralysis on this, though, because I start my mixing, which, you know, you only get the EQ that's here. You only get the EQ that they give you. You only get this one knob compressor. Otherwise, it's all outboard. And you only get what you get here. And this calls me and goes, you spent $3,000 on plugins or more. Come over here. Come use your plugins. Come fire the Mac up. Get on a computer. Log in. Log into a computer and use a keyboard and mouse. You know how far away that is from a guy wanting to play a little guitar on a Friday night? You know how far away that is? It's ridiculously far away. So, now what if this sells? Fine. I'll go back here and I'll play this game because I got the most work done. If I've been doing this since let's say 95, I'm playing guitar, 4-track and cassette, blah, 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 putting out my crappy albums since 1995. I get the most work done with Reaper and an 8-channel audio interface. And I believe it was my Motu A28 ES that I got the most work done. I did get a lot of work done on my one of them Firewire dealies. It was black. It was an M audio. I did get a lot of work done on the gray M audio, which is USB. But I got the most work done on a computer with an 8-channel interface. So is this a distraction? Or is this a distraction? Or are they both a distraction? And I just need to melt it all down into less options for me. Now, the metering sucks on this thing. The metering absolutely sucks. You mic up 4 or 8 or 10 or 12 microphones from here to here. All you get is this little light. Right here. If you're not metering there, you're metering here. Now, it's fine if you pick this thing up and take it over to the drums. But if I'm over there playing and I'm like, you can't see anything from across the room, at least this crap, I can turn the screen and Reaper can show me giant green vertical bar meters, right? So the metering's not good here. And then again, like the EQ, you only get what they give you. The compressor, you only get what they give you. The low cut, you better remember to do it on the way in, because if you forget, there is no low cut after. At least the Zoom Livetrak L-20 being digital, you can go back and low cut after, which is great. Low cut high pass is the most amazing effect that everyone should know how to do. It's freaking recording and mixing 101. Everyone should know how to low cut high pass. Everyone should know how to do that. That's the most important thing you can do in a mix, in my opinion. So, if this one sells, I'm back over here. If this one sells, then screw it, I'm back over here. Now, I will probably replace that with a 2-track. And you're like, well, you're nuts. You're crazy. Well, no, listen. I'm getting out of the Universal Audio ecosystem. I'm selling the UA Apollo and the plugins. Bye-bye. I think they'll actually let me keep my native plugins. The 1176, the LA2A, my Mini Moog, my Ruby, Dream, and Lion plugins, which don't work with a damn. And I don't care who argues with me. They don't. I can demonstrate them not working worth a damn. That's how I got kicked off of Gearspace, was arguing about that. So I will replace it. If this sells and I sell all my plugins, I will replace it with a 2-track. What will I get? Probably something quite expensive. If I'm going to buy a 2-track USB system for computers. Oh, and I'll get rid of the Mac. This Apollo Twin X, what do you call it? Thunderbolt 3 is tying me to this Mac. If this goes, this is gone. Boom, tomorrow. Mike from I Love Recording was nice enough to make me an OBS video. Now I've been doing my videos with OBS, and I can tell most of the OBS problems that I'm having that I don't think he has are because of Mac. My GoPro issues, see my GoPro back in here, are because of the Mac. I'm having Mac issues, guys. I'm having Mac issues, and I'm sick of it. I'd love to soccer boot that thing into the river, honestly. Just put on my steel-toed rubber boots and kick that thing into the river. So if this goes, that goes, and I'll go back to my PC. I'll go back to my my $299 Amazon freaking ghetto laptop over here. A ghetto PC. And you know what? It's solid as hell. It may be Microsoft Windows, you know, so you got to keep Office on it so you don't get the Office freaking viruses. But other than that, she's rock solid, man. And you can get these refurb laptops for $299 on Amazon all day long. You can get them. So when this one dies, you just go to Amazon, and for $299 you get another one. A nice i5 with 8 or 16 gigs of RAM. Windows 10 or Windows 11, who cares? Anyway, so now I'm going to throw some crazier shit at you. Oh, I shouldn't swear in my YouTube videos. I consulted the I Ching. Do you know what the I Ching is? I'm going to do a video about it. It's... well, look it up. But I consulted the I Ching. And I asked the I Ching, because you shouldn't ask the I Ching yes or no questions. You ask the I Ching, what if I do this? And I asked the I Ching, what if I get rid of my Apollo? And I did cast a present state and a changing state. And that's how the I Ching works. And it's very hard to interpret if you're not a Chinese mystic, which I'm not, or if you're not a wise man, which I'm not. So I fed my I Ching results into ChatGPT, which is very good at interpreting the I Ching. If you don't know what the I Ching is, you should look into it. If you don't know what ChatGPT is, please, I beg you to look at it. I beg you to get into ChatGPT. You do not want to be left behind. It's 2025. You need to know about ChatGPT. You need to get on this AI boat. You don't want to be left behind. It's like if I were to tell you about electricity. And you're like, what's this now? And I'm like, electricity. You got to get electricity. And you're like, no, it's not for me. I'm like, listen, you're not going to have a choice. Get into it now. Get into ChatGPT now. Now is the time for you to know about ChatGPT AI. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do for work. I don't care if you're a janitor or a CEO or a garbage man or a baker or a doctor or a lawyer. Get into ChatGPT and do it now. Go get yourself a free account right now. Anyway, I fed my I Ching results into ChatGPT, asking the question, what happens if I get rid of the Apollo? And it's very predictable, not predictably, but somehow the I Ching works. Somehow it is woven into time and consciousness and universal space and God and, spirituality. And somehow this divination process works. And it basically said, you will sell it. You will absolutely sell it, but you may regret it. So this is how ChatGPT interpreted the I Ching results. And we talked about it for a long time. That's the thing about ChatGPT. With Google, you can Google something. You can go, how do I make pizza? But ChatGPT, you have a whole conversation with a friend. You go, how do I make pizza? And it goes, well, what do you got in your fridge? And I'm like, well, I got some flour. I got sugar. I can get some hot water. I'm like, well, we got a good crust on the go. Well, what about some tomato sauce? Anywhere you can get some, like ChatGPT. Google is Google, but ChatGPT is your AI personal assistant in your life from here on. Please go sign up and get it. So ChatGPT basically said, you will sell the Apollo. You will absolutely sell the Apollo. So says the I Ching results. But we regret it. So I talked to ChatGPT about my pros and cons. And I said, I feel distracted. I feel I can't get any work done. I feel I can't finish my album. I feel I can't finish my songs. And ChatGPT said, yes, that's understandable. You're having analysis paralysis. I think it stole that phrase from me because I said it and now it says it. But anyway, it says, well, if you think that getting rid of this and just keeping this is going to let you get some work done, then it's a positive step in the right direction. And it said, but you may regret this. So says the I Ching results. So says the secondary state that I Ching did output. I said, yeah, but if I regret this, hear me out. If I regret this, I can buy a solo USB for like $500 and just go buy the few handfuls of UA plugs that I like, which is the LA2A, the 1176, maybe the Space Echo, maybe the Fairchild. What do I care about? 4 UA plugins? 4, right? I can go get them, especially on Boxing Day, Cyber Monday, Black Friday. Like, Universal Audio sends me an email every day. No word of a lie. Every day there's a UA special in my email. That's how that company runs this plugin business, is they got to sell. They got to sell, right? Waves too. Waves always got a deal on. Something's $29 all the time at Waves. They're like, Waves is like, you see this drumstick? It's normally $800, but we want you to have it. So today it's going to be $29. Like, they're perpetually doing that stuff, right? MSRP, map price, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I've had this giant conversation, and it went deep. Like, I've been talking to ChatGPT about this for 2 days now. And it stressed that if I go this route, I'm going to want to have nice outboard hardware. So I described all the nice outboard hardware I already have. And that was, positive. And so this is what we're doing. This is for sale. This is for sale. All in the hopes that I will pick a lane. There's a Native American saying, if you chase two rabbits, you will lose both of them. And I think that's me. I'm chasing after two rabbits, two lanes. I'm in two minds. I'm in two worlds. And I have to pick a lane and focus. So if this sells, well, guess what? I am Mr. Analog Tracker Outboard Hardware. Just like the likes of Mike from I Love Recording. Just like the likes of Numb Thumb, a.k.a. Emperor Kamikaze, a.k.a. Warheart Arts. He likes his analog stuff. He likes his Porta Studio. He likes to stay off the computer. He'll go on the computer, but he likes to stay off the computer. Or this sells first, and I say, well, sorry, guys. I am now this kind of a guy. I'm keeping the Apollo. I'm keeping the Mac, and I'll just have to get myself another 8-channel interface, which I'm sure I'll just buy another Focusrite 18i Scarlett, right? And then I will be Mr. Computer Guy. I will be tied to the computer. So I'm letting the reverb market decide what happens to me at this point. And that's not a question I asked the I Ching. It's not a question I asked ChatGPT, and I should. I should just go to the I Ching first and ask the question. And it can't be a yes, no question. You have to be careful forming your questions. I will ask, I don't even know how to put it. I will say, I'm selling both interfaces. Just regardless of which one sells, what is the outcome? What is the expected outcome? And then the I Ching will cast 2 hexagrams, or 1 hexagram, or 2 hexagrams. And I will feed them hexagrams into ChatGPT, which will then interpret them for me. So I'm going to do that later tonight. But I Ching is kind of woo-woo, kind of witch doctor stuff, kind of like divination. Maybe you're not into that. Maybe you're offended. Maybe this offends you, the I Ching. So don't maybe look into that if you're not into that. And please don't think ill of me. But there is a lot of scientific people that can prove the 64 hexagram system of the I Ching and why it does work. But anyway, don't look into that, but at least please look into ChatGPT if you're not familiar with that. At least look into ChatGPT. Hey, it's March 2025. We're having a contest. We're giving away this satisfaction pedal. Go find my video called March 2025 Test Giveaway or something like that. Has a picture of this in the thumbnail. We're giving this away. We're going to draw April 2nd, 2025. Go sign up for this if you haven't. But anyway, so this is where we're at. Let's just recap. This is for sale. If this sells, I'll get rid of the Mac. I'll either sell it or throw it in a river. This is for sale. If this sells, geez, I won't need most of this outboard hardware because I'll be Mr. Computer Guy again. So it's either way. Whatever happens, I'm going to let Reverb decide. And I'm out of my special juice. So this video is coming to an end. Please like and subscribe if you feel like it. And this has been my little weird rant commentary about Tascam Model 24, Apollo Twin X, Macintosh, I Ching, and ChatGPT. All right. Thanks for watching.